Okay, so this is the start of day 4 of the Southern Tier ride. We're riding from El Centro to Yuma. I started the ride just north of Interstate 8 on Highway 111, which is the highway that I had stopped riding. I actually stopped riding just south of Interstate 8. And then I'm going to be turning eastbound and eventually end on 115, I believe it is. So I'll start this ride. And at the beginning of the ride here, as you see, I'm actually adjacent to a really nice road that I had been riding on. And I thought that I had to get off here because that's the directions that were given. But I could have stayed on that road and then just turned right. I thought perhaps there wasn't an exit up here for the road that I had to turn on. And that's why they had me turn down here. That information was incorrect. This road was actually fine through the first part of the day and all the way up through Holtville. Then this is part of the official alternate route on the Southern Tier. And I had some problems with my seat and I was making adjustments to it and getting everything ready. But this was a good day's ride, and it was 6 hours and almost 30 minutes from beginning to end of the ride, and it encompassed 70.65 miles. So the total climbing that I did, and most of the climbing was actually at the end of the ride, going up to where we spent the evening, was 1,123 feet. So you can see we're actually on a really nice road right here, and it's in the open farmland area. This was actually the best part of the ride, perhaps. In a little while after we get past Hopeville and then turn adjacent to Interstate 8, the road just gets impassable for a vehicle if you don't want to just kind of have the worst ride of your life for about 2 miles. So here we are, and like I say, this actually was somewhat enjoyable. You see, it's pretty flat there, and I'm not going anywhere but down the road. When we get to Holtville, that's really the last place to stop and get anything for a little ways. And I would recommend, if you're riding unassisted, that you make sure you get everything you need there for food-wise for the next little way, even though you're probably carrying enough food to go 70 miles. I averaged approximately 17 miles an hour in this ride, and I actually let my wife ride part of the way so that she wasn't just following me. She rode approximately 14 miles, and she did good because she actually rode some of the worst road of the ride. You'll see that in the video. So in addition to the climbing, there was descending at 652 feet. And you can see where that was. That's actually going down into the area of Yuma, just before the border. and the map makes this look a lot prettier than it actually was. It was pretty barren, but wait till we get up here a little ways, and it's far worse. You lose the farmland, and doesn't become enjoyable. So this was a lengthy day for me in the saddle, uh, and again, compared to day 3, it was certainly more enjoyable, uh, except for the 2 mile of terrible road that I rode through. And I think my wife would probably tell you the couple of miles that she rode was also really bad. But we do go on the freeway several times. And so I believe when we get up here, we're going to start the really bad road. We're going to be going adjacent to the freeway. And I'm going to let this thing catch up so we're a little closer in time with the mapping. And so this part here wasn't bad, but all of a sudden the road just started falling apart. And that's where I actually stop, call my wife, and tell her to not follow me and to take the freeway. So for this part of the ride, we she rode the freeway and I rode this road. You can see there's a lot of sand on this road. There's very little, but the asphalt is pockmarked all over there, making it difficult to ride over there. And the sand was really soft in spots. Uh, I did not enjoy this. I almost fell twice because of the deep sand that I got in, but was able to get my foot out and keep my balance. And the amazing part of this is that down the road here, it just opens up and becomes the best road. And unfortunately, my wife didn't get to do this. Uh, See, now look how wide this shoulder is. So I'm presuming this part of the road was actually a temporary bypass for the freeway when they repaired the freeway, because I never, you'll see, there's no cars past me on this road, and there's nothing here. Why they didn't carry it an extra 2 miles and repair the road is beyond me. I can't answer that. But this is a really nice road to ride on, and plenty wide. So there's not much else to say here. Other than it was just an endurance ride to the end. And I admit that I was tired. It was good to have a break from the ride and actually let my wife ride that part. So in addition to kind of breaking up her drive, it gave me a little break from the saddle. Well, I followed her. And this just doesn't change. So we're just going to follow this for a little while. And nothing changes. Up here in a little ways, I stop and talk with my wife, I believe, one more time. And The other weird thing is as we get closer, and that's probably up where the corner is, as we get closer to where there are businesses, the road just becomes terrible again. That makes no sense to me. Uh, but this is just a wide open desert here. There's really nothing to see. And we'll see. Okay, so this is where I make a brief side trip away from the freeway and talk with my wife for a little bit, and then head on down the road to where we meet again. Uh, the next time we meet up, though, the road really starts to get bad. Again, you can see if you look over here, it's flat. There's nothing there. Now, somewhere along here, I did pass one sole bike rider that I had actually seen riding, just some old man riding a bike. Uh, I saw him while I was driving to El Centro in the morning and passed him. He must have gone about 10 or 15 miles. Okay, this is coming up to where I was trying to call my wife here and I couldn't get a hold of her. Uh, the phone was being handled through Mexico, which I didn't understand. And then you can see we have this huge berm that's going to be off on the left. I'm assuming that's water off to the left, but I don't know. Oh, I just passed the bike rider. You didn't see him. He went by so fast. As I said in the last video, I'm doing this at 10 times the normal speed, and the purpose is so that I can actually videotape the entire ride. So if you're interested, you could actually see the entire route that I took if you're interested in taking this route. This follows until I get into Yuma, uh, the recommended route by Adventure Cycling. When I cross the border, I actually start on a different route because one, I wanted to ride up over the hill in Yuma, and I was actually staying in Yuma at a truck stop. That's where our camp facilities were. So here I am. You can see the road has just become trash, and I'm going to stop up here. And this is now we're back in civilization. Well, not real civilization, but there is something there. Uh, so here I am at my stop. And I'm going to, all I'm doing is waiting to let the other thing catch up. Uh, I don't know if it actually went by it or not. No. So, yeah, here we go. You can see the stuff that I just passed. And there is food there. And then this is where I stopped. And I had lunch here. So here I go again. Now I got to let it catch up again. I'm not sure. I think this is running continuously. So it's going to take a little pause, and I apologize. All this computer stuff is okay. I don't know where I went to. Boy, I really shot down there. So we'll see. I'll start playing this video. There's not much to see here. I get on the freeway here, and the beginning of this ride is actually nice on the cement. And I take this on the freeway, I believe, to the next exit. We change into asphalt here, but it's still not too bad. However, later on, it gets terrible, which is kind of amazing how bad it got on the freeway. And you can see the bumps that are coming up now. And so here we are continuing on down the freeway. And this part of the freeway was not enjoyable. You can see I'm trying to avoid the bumps. And we're just going. So we're going up here to the next exit. It does make me get off the freeway and back on. I've mentioned in my other videos that in California, when they take you off the freeway, you can get right back on, but they make you get off the freeway. That hasn't always been that way, but it certainly has become that way. So here I continue down Interstate 5, and let's see, my wife just passed me in the video. So we're going up to this next exit. And so if I'm right, somewhere along here, I let my wife start riding. So maybe it's just past the exit around the corner. Okay. So here's my end of the ride on the freeway. Hang a left, go over the freeway. Hang a right, and then I'm going to see my wife here on the left. And she's going to take over. So here we're just changing gear. I'm trying to swap things out for her. And shortly she'll be on the bike taking off. I should have. This is where you try to shut off the GoPro, but what the heck. This is where you learn as you go along. So this is my wife's portion of the ride, and here we go. And then look at this road. It is terrible. Uh, this is the better part of the road. It gets worse as she goes on down the road. And don't ask me what she's doing, but I don't know if she's texting or. So here we go. And you can see this is not a really enjoyable road. It could be a lot worse. Um, there is nothing around to see. There's just barren land. Uh, Nothing worthwhile uh, until she actually gets on the freeway, gets back off, and then she actually gets to ride down a little nicer road. But in the meantime, she's got to put up with this terrible side road where they could have just put you on the freeway. And even the freeway would have been better than this at its worst. At least I think so. I'm not bothered by the freeway, and I apologize if you to those people that don't like to ride in the freeway because there's too many cars, they're going too fast. But generally on a freeway, I like the 6 to 8 foot shoulder that they're providing. And the fact that the big rigs actually, if it's windy, they help you a little bit. By that I mean they break the wind and almost pull you along a little bit. So I believe I meet with my wife up here around the corner. Yes. So she is then going to get back on the freeway, go across it and get on the freeway. So here we go. Sorry about the sequence here, but this is where I'm learning. So this is the best part of her ride, I think, in terms of comfort. The freeway, the cement part of the freeway was really nice and smooth. It didn't probably last very long for her. Yeah, so she gets off the freeway here and then heads on the side road. And she starts getting a little nicer scenery. And she continues on this road. Just around the corner up here, she leaves the barren sand dune desert type thing and gets into farmland. So I'll go out a little bit and you can see that's where she's going. And she's going to ride to the end of this road, and that's when I start riding again. So now we've ridden down, it's gone downhill, she's into the farmland, and we'll be going into the area of Yuma shortly. We're still in California, and we don't enter Arizona until shortly after I start riding again. You can see it's nice farmland, but there's really still not much to see. It's just like riding. Once you ride through farmland, most of it's the same, at least to me. But the road has improved immensely for her. And now here she is coming up on me, and I'm going to again wait for this to catch up because it has to be timed the same. It's probably paused because uh, we were switching the camera around, putting it on a different bike. I need a better system than I'm doing. Uh, but look at the whole scenery changes. We're now into the Yuma area and going to be crossing the Colorado River shortly. Uh, everything is different. I'm not quite. I thought I had started. Wow. Well, again, I apologize, but I'm just going to let this go and catch up. So here I am. It's almost caught up now. And when I go around the corner shortly thereafter, you can see I'm going over a bridge. And I'm already done it on the film. Crossed over the bridge. Uh, and so here I am. I'm going to be getting on the freeway. Uh, I can't. But once I got on the freeway, it was a straight shot to where we spent the night. Now, for those of you that don't like riding on the freeway with heavy traffic, I admit you probably should stick to city streets. Uh, this was a busy time of the day for human traffic, but it wasn't all that bad. And I didn't mind it, but some people might. So, and then once we leave the outskirts of Yuma uh, to where we're staying, you'll see that. Whoops. Where you can see what's going on. You can see it in both pictures. I'm heading toward the hill, and I'm going uphill slowly, but I'm not going up very, very fast. However, I am actually going at a pretty good speed on the freeway, and that's again the advantage of the freeway. Uh, the cars, and especially the big rigs, help you with your average speed and block you a lot. The dangerous part of this is not with the cars exiting the freeway, but the cars entering the freeway. You have to watch for them. And I got lucky. So most of the drivers are polite to bicyclists, but some just don't seem to like bicyclists. You can see right here, the freeway narrowed where you went over the canal area. Uh, And this is just about as narrow as the freeway ever got. That's about 6 feet. Uh, and I think I'm on the home stretch here. Is this where I get off? Probably not. But I admit I did enjoy this part of the ride. Uh, okay, so this is my exit and South Fortuna Road, and I'm actually going to be turning left here and just going right in the parking lot right here. Uh, this was the truck stop we stayed at, and all the trucks you see there, that's essentially where we stayed last night and tonight. Thank you for watching, and if you can make comments on how to improve this, feel free to leave a comment or like it. Thank you. Have a good day.